To always get the latest Game Tea, do not forget to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook at The Game Tea Podcast, and you can find us on Twitter at Game Tea Podcast X. We post memes, gaming news, retweet friends of the pod, and of course let you know when new episodes are available for your listening pleasure. Links are all available in the description of this episode, so check them out after the show, and thank you so much for listening to the Game Tea Podcast.
Everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Game Tea Podcast. My name is JP.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Czar.
Alright, so we've got a good episode ahead of us today, but I had to cut off Zach in the middle of the conversation he was just having, because I want everybody to talk about this as we kind of discuss what games we're playing right now and what's coming up. So, Zach, have you pre-ordered God of War yet?
No.
Why?
I don't want to spend more money yet.
But you will buy it.
Yes.
When it comes out?
Probably.
So then what's the difference?
Yes.
All right, Czar, what are you doing?
I am still on DBZ Kakarot. I just finished.
How's that going?
It's long. It's getting tedious. It's a lot of fun, but it just feels like everything you do doesn't matter. Like, I'm collecting resources, I'm making food, I'm beating up villains, and it just, there's always more and more coming at you. It just kind of feels fruitless. But I did just finish the Cell Saga, so I am close to wrapping up the game, and I'm ready to move on.
Especially because, I mean, Boo Saga doesn't honestly last all that long.
And that's kind of what I noticed about all the sagas is once you get into it, like with the Frieza Saga, once you're on Namek and you, like, initiate the fights with Frieza, it does not take very long.
No, but I mean, like, that kind of holds up to, like, what your point was, which is that, like, all of the other stuff that they added to Kakarot, because I don't know if we were doing Game Tea yet when I beat Kakarot, but I had the exact same complaints. I was like, they added all these mechanics like cooking and fetch quests, and like, I think it's a good idea to do those things. It just wasn't fleshed out super well because it's repetitive after you do it like 5 times.
Yeah, and it's a completionist's nightmare because, you know, you got that counter at the bottom corner of every map screen that says how many D medals you found. You can collect all of those. You can go open all the caves. You can make every dish. Like, it just... Yeah. There's so many things you could complete, but they just don't feel like they impact the game whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Great game, but yeah, that's pretty much my only complaint. It's just a little tedious.
Did you play Kakarot, Zach?
No.
That's surprising. You're a big DBZ guy. What made you skip over that one?
My backlog.
The backlog.
I do have one more complaint on that now that I'm thinking about it. It's real quick, but...
What do you got?
I'm a little frustrated with how much you play as Gohan in this game called Kakarot.
Gohan's the best character in the fucking franchise.
He is the best character in the franchise, but, like, I wanted to play as super stupid Saiyan Goku the entire game. And
Ultra,
just hear,
Mega.
hey, I'm Goku. And,
power levels.
Yeah, like the whole game. And then I'm just sitting there like,
Muffin.
God, I've been Gohan for like 4 hours now. Where the hell is Goku?
That is literally Dragon Ball Z in a nutshell.
It is. And so I'm just really confused why they call it Kakarot and not Dragon Ball Z Gohan.
Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2, you play as Kakarot maybe for 3 out of the 40 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, fuck.
And it's super funny. You remember Vegeta in Abridged where he's like, can we please stop talking about Kakarot? He's never even here.
He's here like 3 times out of the whole series.
And then Tien or someone's like, you know what? He's got a good point. He's not wrong. Okay, anything else besides...
No, that's it. That's
You're just trying so hard to get through Kakarot.
I am trying so hard to finish it with a smile on my face.
So I'm looking at my my cart here, guys, and so
the cart on what, by the way? What do you
Best
use?
Buy. I'm on Best Buy right now. Okay?
You've always been a Best Buy guy. Yeah.
Well,
What
I got a credit card through them. Okay, they scam me. It's kind of like what's a sunk cost fallacy or whatever at this point, probably
Something like that.
And so I got Bayonetta 3, God of War, Persona 5 for the Switch, and then the double pack Pokemon series.
You're getting both?
You're getting Scarlet and Violet?
So I'll give you the other half of that.
Dude, I've been on a pre-order binge. I guess this is where we talk about me. I've pre-ordered Pokemon Scarlet. I've pre-ordered God of War Ragnarok. One of only 4 times in my life, by the way, I actually ordered the deluxe edition of something. I love God of War.
I swear, you are like the last human in existence that pre-orders anything.
I get it's a scam, but I don't know.
What do you get for these pre-orders?
Arbitrary, useless bullshit.
Basically.
Is what I get. And a big middle finger
and like,
that says, fuck you.
You wait a year and a half, all of the pre-order, like, exclusive DLC becomes available to the public, too.
I understand what you're saying. I make bad money decisions. Is that what you want to hear?
Krista makes me say that a lot,
I'm happy
too.
now.
Makes me feel better.
So I've pre-ordered Pokemon. I've pre-ordered God of War. I bought Bayonetta. By the way, I don't know if either of you saw that on my play log. I'm playing Bayonetta 3 right now. That's what I'm doing.
How is it?
It's good.
Good.
A lot of hesitation with that one.
Here's the hesitation is there because I've never played a Bayonetta game, and I'm hopping right into Bayonetta 3. And
it wouldn't have made sense either way. Just if that's what you're playing as a story.
Makes me feel, yes.
Because it's just balls to the wall the entire time. The sooner you accept that, the happier you'll be.
Well, it's like, I'll give it to it. Like, I was in the mood for a hack and slash, and then Bayonetta came out, and I was like, okay. Right? Like, if there's one thing I can say about old God of War that I miss, it's like, hack and slash is just fun sometimes. Like, fuck the story, fuck your feelings, fuck the characters. I just want to kill shit.
Weird side question on God of War, considering the hack and slash. Is there still a combo counter in God of War? Because I think the first couple of games had that combo counter.
I think there's like a bonus for how many things you kill.
Oh boy, it's been a couple of years since I played the game, but to my knowledge, no.
Huh? Yeah. See, that kind of makes me think they're stepping away from that formula. Then.
Oh, 100% they are. I mean, like,
this is Legend of the Zelda God of War Edition.
God of War Edition.
Which is not fair, but I'm going to say it anyway.
This is an unpopular opinion, but Kratos really got nerfed between God of War 3 and the new God of War.
That's kind of what it seems like, because I remember back in the days of watching X play, and like they'd have to cover up every scene from God of War with like a kitten or something because of how badass Kratos was.
Yeah, I mean, 100%, and maybe it's like an age type thing, because Kratos definitely ages in the new God of War. You can see he's got boy, so,
boy.
He's got boy. And the man is still performing outrageous fucking feats, like just lifting up half the earth.
But it doesn't canonically make sense when a fucking night elf, whatever the fuck the things are, little buggy elf things that shoot me one time with a shadow bolt and I'm dead, and I'm like,
yeah, exactly. It's like you can do
boy, you could have arrowed that guy for me, boy.
I took an arrow to the knee once, boy.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm bad. Like I totally accept it, but I was still mad. I was like, Kratos just died to one shadow bolt. All right.
You mean you took on Ares like back in the day, but that's cool.
And it's just Baldur. Baldur doesn't make sense to me. Look, here's the point. I'm excited for God of War. I know I'm fucking stupid for not only pre-ordering the game, but pre-ordering a deluxe edition, which historically I've made fun of. I know, guys.
So
what do you want?
Like what do product, you get in that? Support it. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's really what it's about, is the support for me.
Now, see, at least yours kind of, makes sense because your company's trying. I still buy Blizzard products, and I fucking hate them. I don't rescind anything I've said about those games. I'm an idiot. I'm an addict, and it's sad.
And I hate me.
What do you get in that deluxe package? I'm curious.
That's a good question that I tried to Google real quick, and your internet gave me the middle finger. So I'll just
don't get anything.
There's even a dinosaur on here.
So I'll just use my memory. You get outfits for Atreus and Kratos. I think there's like some different hilts or whatever for the Leviathan axe and handles for the Blades of Chaos. And I want to say there's a couple other things, like you get a digital art book, which I've got a few pre-orders where you get the digital art book, and you take one glimpse at it for 5 minutes, you're like, oh, cool. Never touch it again. Like,
yeah.
It's if I can say one thing to defend pre-orders anymore, it's really kind of to attest to Zach's point of, like, it's more a sign of support than me looking to get those benefits, because let's be honest, there aren't any.
Yeah. And I did just pull it up here, so it looks like you get Kratos Dark Dale armor, Atreus Dark Dale armor.
Dale? What's a Dark Dale?
I have no idea what Dark Dale is.
Dinkelberg?
It's Evil Dale. You get Dark Dale Blades handles for Blades of Chaos, Dark Dale Axe Grip for Leviathan Axe, official God of War Ragnarok digital soundtrack, a Dark Horse digital mini art book, an Avatar set, and a PlayStation 4 theme. I don't know why it's a PlayStation 4 theme, but...
Because PlayStation 5 doesn't do themes anymore.
Oh.
That was something you could do on the PS4 that you can no longer do on the PS5, and I'll admit it, I miss the themes.
That's a weird feature to get rid of.
I don't know why they did it, but like I said, I do miss the themes. I thought the themes you could do with PS4 was very cool.
The 3DS has themes.
Yeah.
Why was that not brought to the Switch?
Exactly.
We're going backwards, boys.
Going backwards.
All right, Zach, what are we doing in today's episode?
We're doing stuff and things.
And things and stuff.
Isn't that the truth?
So, on here, itinerary, we have PSVR 2, talks, pre-orders, all the stuffs. Then we have AMD talking about stuff they want to sell you. Then we have Kojima-ing.
Kojima is Kojima-ing.
I am so opinionated on all three of those things. So,
well, that's
not the second one. The second one makes total sense, but the first and third, I'm kind of like, ugh.
We're gonna have some good conversations, and in fact, let's just jump right into PSVR 2. Now, am I to assume that this is an article for me?
As the residential PlayStation guy,
I think it should go to Czar. All right. So this article came to us just straight from the PlayStation blog. PlayStation VR 2 launches in February, okay, at $549.99.
Woof. That's a hefty cost.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that's enough to spark some opinions right there. I want to read just a little bit of the article, and then we can chat, because we've all got opinions. Over the past several months, we've introduced PlayStation VR 2 and provided glimpses into the next generation of virtual reality gaming, which will allow you to escape into new worlds, while feeling a groundbreaking sense of immersion. Today, I'm very pleased to announce that PlayStation VR 2 is officially launching on February 22nd, 2023. PlayStation VR 2 Sense Controller charging station, designed specifically for the PSVR 2 Sense Controller, will also launch the same day. Now, it's funny because then they don't necessarily bury the price, but it's hard to avoid the price, right? Because basically what we've got is $549 and 99 US cents, 599 euros, and then 530 pounds. Which, if you don't give a shit about any other form of currency except US dollar conversion rates, it's going to cost us 550 bones to get this, boys.
Not 550 bones.
550 bones!
Wait a second, don't we only have like 200 bones in our body?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, not only do you have to give your bones, you have to kill 2 other people and get their bones.
Just to pay for this goddamn system.
Now, okay, I know technically also, before we get into it, PlayStation VR 2, like the controller charging stand, you don't technically need it, but it brings it all together so nice. It should have been included. That's going to be an additional $50.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, no, just for an aesthetic thing that, like, it neat and tidies your storage space. Like, that's low. That's cheap.
All right, now...
Well, actually, it's expensive.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Now, there's not much more we can say about the design, right? Like, the headset, we'll post a picture to Twitter, but it's very, like, close to what Oculus was doing. The hand paddles look a little bit more futuristic than what the Oculus was doing, but also kind of integrated with PlayStation's design. And in my opinion, one of the biggest drawbacks, right, but there is a reason for this, is the fact that it's not a wireless headset, it is wired.
Yes, and if you look closely in the picture that they give you, it looks like the cord is blurred off. Like, you can see a little tail of the cord, but then it blurs out with the background. Almost like they're trying to hide the fact that it has a cord.
Yeah, I totally agree. They really, again, there's reasons for that I'll get into in a minute as to why that cord exists, but this is it. We've been waiting for the price. We've been waiting for the release date. We've speculated. And I don't know if y'all remember, but we took guesses at how much this thing was going to cost. And I think between the three of us, the highest guess was at about $400, which means we were off by about $150.
Yeah.
Let's discuss. Zach, how are you feeling about the price?
It's expensive. It's going to be good, I hope. What was the last one? $400?
Yes.
Like $399 maybe.
Oh, I thought it was $400, but $399.
Just $1 short.
Thank you for that. 'Cause I'm sitting here like, this son of a bitch. Do you know what taxes are?
This hair splitting motherfucker over here.
And so, I mean, it's more expensive, but like, assuming they put in the technology that they've been super hyping up, it makes sense. Yes, there's a Sony tax. There's always been a Sony tax. But if it's good and it works, like, and it doesn't make me sick while I play it, and I can play it for more than like an hour, it's 4K now. Was it 4K before?
No, it was not. Not even close.
And it's OLED in each fucking eye, which just sounds insane.
Correct.
I was just going to say, because, yeah, like I'm looking over the specs here, and it says it's OLED. The panel resolution is 2000 by 2040 per eye. Panel refresh rate, 90 hertz and 120 hertz.
Yeah.
Like, it's high tech as fuck. Like,
I was gonna say, and they have the Tempest like 3D audio tech, which they've been really pushing. Like, I bet it's gonna sound really good. Like, I'm just ready to be immersed into a video game.
well,
Yeah.
and see, that's my thing too, is that it's even got built-in speakers, like you said. You don't need any additional plugins for this. Like, you don't need headphones additionally. You don't need any other immersive technology aside from what PlayStation is offering you. And so I think all of that is got to be built into the cost.
And their controllers
100%.
are fucking fire. Like, I love the PlayStation like control. I don't want to play my PlayStation, but I want to hold the controller every now and then.
So here's what we need to consider. The three of us who have, number one, like, yeah, we're gamers, but we also care about the tech side of this. But number two, people who are gaming commentators, like, we understand this, right? That there's a lot of great technology that's going into this headset that has not been true for other headsets. Most other gamers do not recognize that fact. In fact, if you scroll down to the bottom of the blog, you can start to see some of the comments people left. So I will talk about the specs, and I want to also kind of compare them to what the Oculus 2 is currently running, right? Jacko the Lad. More than the price of a PS5, are you mad? And I mean, I think that's most people's point, right? Is like, even if you get the disc edition of the PS5, like, first of all, good luck finding one. It's still hard as fuck to find.
Truth.
But that's going to run you $500, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, understandable.
It is completely understandable.
What does the Quest 2 need to run? It needs a phone, right? A smartphone?
I don't think it even needs a smartphone necessarily
Not
anymore.
Technically.
What the fuck?
But I know that price was comparable to what PlayStation's offering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tricky subject because, yes, naturally as gamers, we're like, what the fuck? We want this to be cheaper. We want this more accessible. But then when you think about it from the specs, how ambitious of a project this is, and how PlayStation has already kind of established themselves in the VR sense anyway,
Right.
this could almost be considered like a separate console from the PlayStation.
So, I think the best way to show people why this device is so expensive is to do a comparison of the specs between this and what I would consider to be the best VR headset on the market right now, which is the Oculus Quest 2, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, Zach mentioned the OLED in the eyes. Now, that's a huge freaking deal, right? OLED is like pretty much on its way to becoming the standard, whether you're talking about televisions, monitors, anything tech-wise that has a screen, right? OLED is just going to become the standard in like 2-3 years. Guarantee it, right? So the fact that there's OLED in these right now, that is a big deal. You're going to get a lot of really big color immersion, right? Because if there's one thing that can take you out of the game, it's, you know, when you get that sight or like those colors that just don't seem quite right, when you don't get those darks that are super dark, those lights that are super light. OLED, whether you're talking about the new OLED Switch or a television or a headset, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is the new visual standard, or will be the new visual standard.
I mean, that's how these things go, right? Like, OLED will be the standard in 2 or 3 years. I guarantee it.
Every screen's going to have it. It's not just going to be like that high-end, ooh, boy, I got OLED. Mm-hmm. Nice little treat.
Now, the Oculus Quest 2, of course, since it's a standalone device, it's got its own RAM. It's got its own base storage, right? And given those things, like, it's not necessarily bad. But with the PSVR 2, I guess one thing you could count against it is it's getting that side of things from the PlayStation itself, right? Like, whatever you have on your PlayStation is basically going to stream to the headset itself. That being said, when you look at screen resolution, the Oculus Quest 2 is currently running 1800 by 1900 pixels per eye, right?
Okay.
Whereas the panel resolution for the PSVR 2 is 2000 by 2040 per eye.
It's a big jump.
It doesn't sound like it is, but it really is. That's going to add. So, you know, you're dealing with OLED, and you're dealing with, like, this big, like, panel resolution jump. Like, yeah, it's going to be a lot more immersive. It's going to look a lot prettier. And the final thing I want to touch on, the Oculus Quest 2 currently has a refresh rate of up to 90, but usually it's at 72. Not bad. Not bad. Whereas the panel refresh rate for the PSVR 2 can be up to 120 hertz, right? But usually around 90. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, if it's averaging like 20 hertz above the Oculus Quest, that already puts it ahead in the race.
Mm-hmm.
It's already, I don't know if I want to say justifying, but almost justifying these costs. Like, clearly all of the specs going into it is going to up that cost, and they can't afford to sell it below production cost.
Right. So, one other thing that I think is really interesting, there's vibration on the headset.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we mentioned that, but they're under the feedback column, it does say vibration on headset.
I've never seen that before on a VR headset, like actual vibration integrated into the headset.
I feel like that's going to hurt a lot of people's noses.
We'll have to see. I'm excited to try it. And then, you know, we've got the other things that you were talking about, right? Like, just standard VR equipment. Like, there's a gyroscope within the headset, tracking cameras, IR, different things like that, built-in microphone, built-in stereo, like, things like that. So, when you put all of this into context, what we can see is that the price point for the PSVR 2 makes sense. But that being said, we have a release date, boys. We've got the price. Do you think this thing is going to sell? Is the market there? Zach, what do you think?
It's niche. It's expensive and niche.
And we also have to consider, like, what kind of games are being offered.
That's the only thing that really matters, too. You know?
Yeah.
There's good games? Yes. If they PS Vita this thing? No.
No.
It's hard to say. I mean, we saw from the last State of Play, which was better than mid, by the way. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Excuse us, guys. We're going to be a minute.
Anyway, they do have plans. They have plans, and I mean, like, we're at the point where, like, PSVR is not just, like, a peripheral anymore. You can think of this as its own console. And if we're thinking of this like its own console, it now enters the conversation of launch lineup. And that's my opinion. And we have to think about what is going to be offered day one when we get this thing. Because if you're throwing down 550 bones, that's 2.5 people worth of bones. Are you going to see that?
That's one Game T podcast right there.
One Game T podcast of bones. We'll invite Peaches back. Like, are you sure there's no reason you want to be back? And we're just like, yeah, buddy. So,
sharpen up the saw.
We need your bones.
Hey, have this cup of water.
With drugs in it.
Anyway, all right. So, you think it's niche. We need to look at launch lineup, which we know we've got a few games, but not a whole lot. Zara, what are you thinking?
I think it'll work. I think there is enough of a crowd out there to support this new launch. I think gamers are still going to be upset with the cost and continue to complain about that. Like, we talked about the cost makes sense, but gamers are still unhappy with the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that is going to stop people from buying this? Absolutely not. I think this is going to make a killing. I think it's going to do great, and I think it's just going to build on itself.
I disagree.
I'm not going to buy it, but...
You don't own a PlayStation, motherfucker.
Exactly. I can't
He's got to buy 2 PlayStations.
Fuck, that's $1,000, over 1,000 bones right there.
That's
we need a lot of people.
Worth of bones.
We need a lot of people.
So I'm the exact opposite of him. I have a PS5. I am buying it. I think it maybe sells 1 to 2 million. It can do really well still. Sony is not going to be hurting after this. I think it's one of those things you gotta put some cost and time into. Because I mean, you get this virtual reality stuff. Like, if you guys been outside lately? It fucking sucks.
It really does.
You get this virtual reality, right? Like, I mean, that will be fire. It's expensive fire, but fire nonetheless.
That
JP,
is
what
true.
do you think?
I'm a collector at heart, so I mean, I was going to try and get my hands on this thing regardless.
JP, let me see your wallet real quick.
I had to sell the wallet.
And also my entire lower torso.
Yeah, it's a good thing that things don't cost livers. Let me tell you that.
Thank you.
Okay, anyway. Okay, so if we're following the trend of the first PlayStation VR, I think this thing's going to go down in price in about a year, but not by a whole lot. And at that point, I'll probably pick it up. Here's my thought. We are in the stage right now where virtual reality is starting to get a lot more attention. And, you know, Microsoft, Sony, Facebook, they're all trying to be the person to push VR forward, right? Like, Facebook and Meta did an amazing job with the Quest 2. They're already in the works with the Quest 3, right? PSVR 2 is pushing it another level. And then word's coming out that Microsoft, we don't know exactly what they're doing, but we know they're doing something VR related. So it's being pushed forward. The tech's getting good. The price point makes sense, but it's hard to say.
It's fucking expensive.
It's a whole console.
All makes sense, but it's fucking expensive.
Well, I think the time is right with everybody taking an interest in VR. PlayStation's getting a jump on the game and like already establishing themselves. I think the timing just makes sense.
Yeah, it does, man. It's one of those things. Think about when we were kids and the internet first started to become a thing and people thought it was like a fad, right? Like, it might be the same thing with the PSVR 2. Like, maybe we just don't see how big this thing's going to be just yet. I don't know. That's kind of my mindset there. Nonetheless, I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited in general.
I've reached my allotted time of caring about Sony. Can we move on?
All right, fair enough. Does anybody have any more questions about the specs or about the headset before we move on?
And also, this is coming from the one guy apparently who's going to buy it at launch, if he can get it without losing his entire body.
If I have $600 just laying around, which who doesn't? Like, hell yeah, I'll give this a go.
A lot of people don't have $600 lying around.
What? Well, why
Now,
not?
Cesar, he said $600 because it's $550, but then there's going to be a 7% tax on top of that. So people normally round that up. They don't just go
$599.
Jesus.
Fuck you. All right. Let's move on. All right. So, Zach, what does AMD have in the works right now?
New stuff to buy, JP.
Oh boy.
All right. So, Radeon RX. Just I said that right? Radeon.
Yeah.
Radeon.
No, Radeon. You had that.
For Mortal Kombat? All right, anyway,
Correct.
Say hello to the AMD Radeon RX 7000 series. Available to purchase on December 13th. Does that mean you'll get it on December 13th? I'm going to go with no on that one. But anyway, empowered by the world's most advanced gaming graphics architecture. You have the RX 7900 XTX and the RX 7900 X1.
Okay.
The X1 is the cheaper version at $900.
Ooh.
That's like almost two PSVR 2s. And then you have the RX 7900 XTX, which is $999. I won't say 1,000 because God forbid. And so, yeah, that is the new stuff they're selling that's going to have more graphics, more powers, and...
power levels.
Yeah, power
Yeah,
levels.
power levels.
And it literally is over 900.
No kidding.
It's over 900.
So here's where we are right now in the graphics cards game. So number one, we haven't made a point in saying this yet. I think it's important now. It is not nearly as hard to get a graphics card anymore. Things are finally kind of getting back to normal.
In fact, I've even seen some of them go on sale.
Wow.
Graphics cards
Yeah.
on sale?
I feel like an
Holy
idiot.
shit.
I bought high, guys. Fucking don't put me in the stock market.
I was thinking of selling my 2070. I'm like, this is now an $800 card.
How important is a graphics card to a setup anyway? I mean,
Oh, it's everything. But anyway. Anyway.
back to this. My bad.
All right, so here's where we're at right now. AMD. Now, when it comes to the Ryzen series of their chips, I would argue that they're neck and neck with Intel now. Like, Intel had the clear lead, but AMD stepped up their game phenomenally in, like, the past half decade, and now I would argue that AMD is, like, neck and neck with the quality of their build, the power, everything with Intel. Their graphics cards are a completely different story. I have no doubt in my mind that these graphic cards are going to be amazing, right? We don't have any benchmarks yet because this literally just got announced a couple days ago. So no one has the card. We can't do benchmarks. I couldn't tell you how well it compares to like a 40 series card, which, by the way, NVIDIA just released their 40 series. So sorry about the 30 series, Zach. What do you have in your build right now? A 3080?
Yeah. Maybe a 3070 Ti. I can't remember.
3070 is a damn good card still.
I'm happy with it.
Well, you won't be once you see...
I literally only play a 2004 video game, so it's going great.
So it's looking good.
Got 120 frames, 4K. All right, it's easy.
Yeah. So when it comes to the graphics cards, here's the thing. NVIDIA still has the huge lead over AMD, right? So I'm really curious to see what AMD does with these graphics cards. But it's hard to, again, we don't have benchmarks yet, so it's hard to compare where it's going to be with the 40 series. But the fact that the 40 series just dropped, and the architecture is probably going to be pretty similar, I'm guessing that, the power is going to be pretty neck and neck. But honestly, it's not about the power when it comes to Radeon's cards. I just feel like they don't have as much, for some reason, in the graphics card space. They just don't have as much of that, name recognition that people are looking for. PC gamers love the NVIDIA cards. It's not that the Radeon cards are, less powerful or less cool looking, even. I think they look amazing. It's just they don't have that name recognition yet for some reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm bored now. Can we go? I need to see specs.
You don't like
I need to see
talking
graphics.
Specs. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But look, here's the important
I think you'll make valid points, BT Dubs.
Yeah. Here's the important thing that I really want people to take away from this article. If you were someone who was unfortunate enough to start building a PC in the middle of COVID and you don't have a graphics card, number one, graphics cards are becoming more readily available now. If you even just go to Best Buy's website, I know they've got a lot of cards on sale, but if you want to take a look at the Radeon series, you have a damn good card for a good chunk of the price less than a NVIDIA card. I'm just saying.
And hopefully it'll be more available than it has been in the past. Hopefully it will be acquirable on that December release date.
Do you boys still think that scalpers are going to be an issue once these cards drop, even though, cards are more readily available now?
Depends on where the supply shortages lie and if the demand is really going to be there for these cards.
Like I said, Radeon's just not nearly as popular as NVIDIA, but I don't know. That being said, AMD does have extremely loyal customers, so it's hard to say.
Loyal.
I mean, there's definitely a chance that scalpers will not take all of these cards.
All right. Anything else about the new Radeon cards before we move on?
I don't believe so. Looks like we got a review coming up.
Not really a review, more like a just hype. It's a hype thing.
It's a hype article.
Because we got to listen to IGN and do they really do reviews?
That's
true. They just spit shit and see what sticks.
You come for the news, not the reviews on IGN.
Nah. All right. What do we got?
God of War.
Yes. Oh, my God. We do have God of War stuff, don't we?
We do.
All right. We've got some graphics modes numbers. I'm a big numbers guy. I love the numbers when it comes to graphics. Fidelity.
Oh, yeah. Say it again.
Fidelity, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Sorry, that was weird.
This whole conversation's weird. All right, so number one, I don't know if we've made this apparent. This is a big talking day for me, by the way.
This is JP's episode right here.
All right, so I don't know if we've had a chance to really talk about this yet, but I have had friends who know I run this podcast who have expressed their concern that God of War Ragnarok's not coming to the PS4 for whatever reason, and I get why they think that, but first of all, God of War Ragnarok is coming to the PS4. They have not stopped PS4 support yet, so...
Boo.
Come
Why
on.
boo? That's a good thing.
Nobody can get their hands on the PS5.
I want fidelity.
Well, you have the PS5. You got the fidelity, brother. Feel bad for peasants like Zor who don't
have a single place.
Read all these graphics mode.
Oh, okay.
I literally was like, is this a flowchart? This is a fucking flowchart.
Yeah, and by the way, they're using PS4 Pro numbers, right? So if you never upgraded to the PS4 Pro, and
your PS4 is about to upgrade, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna take fight on this game.
It's like, they added a new on fire mode to the PS4. That's interesting.
just literally will start flying from all the fans trying their best.
Like bashes through the ceiling.
Valhalla for you, friend.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Just
Okay.
your TV just like, oh, brother.
You boys okay?
No, that's really fucking... You don't know the struggle because you never owned a PS4. They're so fucking loud.
Oh, and God forbid the guys who never blow those things out, man. They've accumulated all that dust. That 2013 dust is probably still in there.
But even...
Dude, is there sweat?
Yeah, like you're laughing so hard your glasses are fogging up.
My God, they are.
Holy shit. No, dude, you
Brother,
never...
do you need help?
I'm a PS4 too, I guess.
You never experienced the pain... Okay. PlayStation 4 kept their power bricks in the PlayStation console.
That's not smart.
No, because they get loud as fuck because of how hot they are. That's a meme is how loud the PS4 is. Like, he's 100% right.
Oh, that's funny.
And sweating.
Yeah, you are.
sweating.
Okay. Let's talk numbers. Now, on the PS4 Pro, shut up, we're talking numbers. All right. PS4 Pro, right? Keep in mind, not the standard PS4, the Pro. You're talking about, 1080 to 1656p, which is actually technically less than HD, if you want to get technical about it. You're going to be at about 30 FPS, right? Now, that's if you're favoring performance. If you're favoring the quality, then you're going to be at about the same, right? Except you're going to jump up to 1440p to 1656, which is a little bit... that's a lot better. But you're still going to be hitting that 30 FPS target, right? And if you opt to go into the standard, you're going to get 1080p again at 30 FPS. So you're probably noticing none of those numbers sound super different. And that's just because there's only so much... the PS5 is such a huge jump between, the PS4 Pro even, that they designed this game for high graphics fidelity. And the PS4, as great as it was, just can't keep up anymore.
It can't. It's outdated technology.
So, let's talk about the graphics modes on the PS5, because I think that's what most people want to hear about. So, you've got two options when you're talking about PS5 graphic modes, and apparently Ragnarok lets you choose. You can favor performance, or you can favor the quality. So, I'm a guy that likes to favor performance, personally.
Bitch.
Shut up. All right, so if you're talking performance, you're looking at 1440 to 2160p, which is, that's a lot fucking better than even the PS4 Pro, right? That's That's about, I don't even know how many more pixels. Like, it's just an unfathomable amount, like 400 by 500 pixels more. And that amount of pixels, that makes a huge fucking difference.
Oh, yeah.
In how the game looks.
Considering each and every pixel combines to make a beautiful picture, every single one of them matters.
If you favor performance, on top of that, you're also going to get a 60 FPS, which is damn good.
That's a big jump from the 30 FPS target of the PlayStation 4.
Now, you can add a little bit more with HFR and the VRR, which I guess are just like ray tracing and like other things to kind of, I guess, make the game look better. But even if you're using like the best performance stuff, if you're adding like all the fixins, right, you're still getting 1440p and an unlocked 60 frames per second. So in other words, it's going to look pretty and it's going to run well, even if you're just in performance mode. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes to favor quality, native 4K resolution for the game, right? Now, of course, like, the sacrifice you're going to have to make is you'll be running it at 30 FPS if you like to favor quality, but the game is going to look fucking gorgeous. Gorgeous, boys, seriously. On one of the best-looking video games you're ever going to fucking play in your life.
Now, there are two asterisks next to that native 4K, which means that it's going to require a compatible 4K device. So that's something gamers got to prepare for.
That is true, but in the same way that OLED is going to become like the standard in 2 years, 4K is honestly kind of the standard now, right? Like, if you go to even somewhere that sells like kind of like cheaper TVs like Walmart, it's hard to find something that's not 4K.
Yeah, that's true.
So, that's true. Like, But I mean, if you're also the kind of gamer that has a PS5, chances are you do have a 4K TV as well. But, okay, you are right about adding those asterisks in there, right? If you are the kind of gamer where you spent all your money on the deluxe edition of God of War and a PS5, you should probably dish out a few $100 to get, like, a 4K TV as well.
Don't forget to get that HDMI 2.0 cable as well.
That's right.
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see anything.
Now, kind of like with the performance mode, if you go for quality and add all those fixins with the HFR and the VRR, right, you're still looking at about 1800 by 2160 pixels, right? And then unlocked 40 FPS, right? So just a little bit more on the FPS, but here's what I'm trying to say. Whether you are the kind of person that really loves that performance and really loves that buttery smooth animation, albeit with the sacrifice of some graphics, right? Performance mode is going to be for you, and it's going to look great. Or if you just want the most stunning game you've ever fucking seen in your fucking life, right?
It's a lot of fucks.
Yeah, because it's fucking crazy. Quality mode is going to give you that basically native 4K resolution, right? Given with 30 FPS as a minimum, but still. So, yeah.
Some good specs for this game.
It's going to look amazing, right? And I think these specs are great for a couple of things, right? I know I just put a bunch of people to sleep with the fucking numbers, so let me put it this way. This is going to be the best looking game you've ever played in your fucking life. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fucking incredible.
It's got the JP guarantee.
And I think it actually brings up like kind of this big argument when it comes to people, because Zach from the fucking Peanut Gallery booed me when I said I favor performance because he likes the best fucking quality picture he can get. So we've got a quality guy over here. I'm a performance dude. Czar?
I kind of sit somewhere in the middle, but I think I lean more towards performance. I mean, I want my game to run well. If it looks stunningly pretty, I'm eventually going to tune that out because of all the other mindless tasks I have to run in this game.
Let's get one thing out of the way. Even if you're doing performance mode, it's going to look incredible.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not saying that performance is going to look like dog poop, but
yeah.
No, I think I favor performance. I'd rather have my game running better than prettier.
All right, so how many days do we even have left until Ragnarok drops from this point? We're recording this.
Let's go to game releases then, shall we?
We've got hot takes first. Oh, no, we don't.
No, I said fuck the hot takes.
Yeah, you did. No hot takes. Here, you want a hot take? Here's the hot take. God of War Ragnarok, Game of the Year. Calling it now.
I don't think it's a hot take.
I haven't played the game.
That's a mild take.
I have not played the... Sorry, I banged on the table, and that's a big no-no from Czar.
And Zach.
And Zach. I get animated when I talk. I'm sorry. God of War Ragnarok. I'm calling that for Game of the Year already. Haven't played the game. Seen nothing more than snippets, but what good snippets.
I think you got a high probability of being right on that end, considering what else has come out. But we will actually do an episode on Game of the Year in the upcoming future.
Just like we do every year.
Just like we do every year, but I think you got a strong contender from Sony's corner on that one.
I think Sony's got a lot of big guys. What if fucking Stray took it?
I hope it does. I'm going to vote for Stray.
You
like
legitimately. Game of the Year, Stray.
Absolutely.
You didn't even play it.
No, but I basically watched every bit of it on YouTube, including the modded stuff where they put, like, Cat Dog as your sibling cat.
Oh, no way. I didn't even see that.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine or those little robots that chase you.
All right, boys. Who wants to do game releases?
I can take the game releases.
All right, Czar, what do we got coming out?
All right, on November 8th, we have Sonic Frontiers for the PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. Now, on November 9th, the big one, God of War Ragnarok for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
So excited.
City Bus Manager on November 10th for the PC. On November 10th as well, we got a few games coming out. We got Dying Light 2, Stay Human, Bloody Ties DLC for the PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Fabular, Once Upon a Space-Time, also coming out on the 10th for the PC.
Cool title.
Lunistis for the PC and Switch. Police Simulator, Patrol Officers. That game is not going to get a lot of hype for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Shadow of the Guild for the PC. Steel Rising. Coglestro's Secrets DLC for the PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. Finally, moving away from November 10th, on the 11th, we have Hidden Through Time Definitive Edition for the PS4 and Switch, Tactics Ogre Reborn for the PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Switch, Valkyrie Elysium for the PC, and finally, I think this is coming out on the 11th, Solasta Crown of the Magister, Inner Strength.
So, number one, I didn't know Dying Light 2 was getting a DLC.
Yeah, no, I have actually heard nothing about this Bloody Ties DLC, and I'm kind of intrigued by it.
Yeah, me too.
It's just ties with blood on them, guys.
It's just
bloody ties.
just
like,
bloody zip ties.
They weren't kidding.
Just takes you into a room with a bunch of bloody ties, and that's the DLC.
Okay, so on top of God of War, we've said so much about God of War. There's nothing we can add to the conversation. It drops 4 days from now, which is going to be like the day this episode comes out.
On a Tuesday.
No kidding. No, Wednesday.
No, it's a Tuesday because we're recording on Saturday and not Sunday today.
Oh, you're fucking right.
Plus, games always come out on Tuesdays at midnight.
No, unless it's a Nintendo game.
Unless it's a Nintendo game.
Ugh. All right.
And that all started from World of Warcraft, by the way.
Huh.
Did it really?
No,
more
I
you know.
bullshitted that.
Fuck you. All right. God of War Ragnarok. Zach, are you as excited as I am?
Probably not, but I'm excited.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for the honesty. Sonic Frontiers. We gave opinions. How are we feeling? That's dropping in a couple days.
Yep, that's going to drop on Monday, and I still think it's going to be mid. It's a Monday release. I don't think it's going to see huge numbers. I think it'll see enough numbers to float it and, like, give the studios encouragement to make more Sonic.
This guy.
Zach, you're...
This guy doesn't Sonic.
It's so interesting because you're the Sonic guy.
Yeah.
I mean...
I'm the 06 before 06 Sonic guy.
Come to think of it, there's no one more critical of Sonic than Sonic fans. When will you learn?
Power levels.
All right, so you don't have as much optimism about Sonic Frontiers. We've discussed that.
Yes.
I don't know, man. Even if it is good, I mean, the problem is, like, even if it's good, it's going to get overshadowed hard by God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah. Although, I think they are way different enough that God of War won't necessarily overshadow Sonic because the population of people who are going to play each of those games are going to be vastly different. Like, you don't expect someone who's going to pick up God of War to, like, be a huge Sonic fan.
Have you been on the internet?
Once or twice.
And so, what do you see on the internet? Do you see God of War or do you see Sonic?
I see God of War.
And you're not really a God of War fan.
Well, I'm just saying, think about this. Think about Animal Crossing compared to Doom Eternal.
Yeah, Animal Crossing killed it. Doom Eternal was fire, and it still got very much overshadowed. That's all I'm trying to say.
It could go either way.
And Doom Eternal is one of the best shooters of all time.
It was good.
Or
Plus,
not all time, but it's still pretty
no, I
fucking
would say of all time. I thought it was damn good. Doom doesn't miss, dude.
Yeah,
Doom does not miss. Doom's fucking good, but I would say that the whole Animal Crossing Doom thing was more of a meme than, like, a genuine, like, oh, these games are competing. Like, we knew Animal Crossing was going to blow Doom out of the water.
Well, and see, I don't think, like, either game ever intended to directly compete with the other game, and I think the same thing is here for Sonic Frontiers and God of War Ragnarok, is, like, these games aren't intending to compete with one another, but we'll just see where the hype always lands.
Also, Police Simulator?
Yeah, I just moved past that one.
I think that's a little insensitive.
That's a weird game to release. Like, why would you want to simulate police? I don't know. I'm gonna move away from that one.
Yo, you guys just got into a can of worms there. I'm gonna say the fuck out of that.
Yeah, let's just move right on past
You just got
that.
your game tea. I gotta go because I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm just saying it seems a little insensitive.
You don't know that. We'll wait for the reviews
from IGN.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good game. That's how I'll know. Oh, they fucked it up bad.
They fucked it up.
You really feel like a police officer.
I
Don't
hope
want
not.
to.
I fucking hope not. All right. I think that's about it.
That'll do it.
We've got a huge week for gaming.
We do. There's a lot of releases coming out this week.
We've got not just, and then the week after that, we've got Pokemon, right?
And the week after that, we got something probably.
Something big coming out. I mean, we're heading into holiday releases.
World of Warcraft Dragonflight's coming out.
Ooh, is it now?
Ooh.
Hey, Czar, we should get into World of Warcraft. I'm just
What
kidding.
about RuneScape?
Yeah,
Let's go play RuneScape.
Yeah, Final God 82.
That's so true. Final God 82, that was my screen name for RuneScape back in the day. You know why? Because he was Final God 81.
You know why? Because random.
Because of random.
Final God 82.
I was like, okay, that's all right. That's fine.
RuneScape is where I started the whole Czar 265 thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's where Czar came from.
You know what?
Star 6'5", who
265.
I mean, it's just like, are you really the final god if there's been 82 of them? What is this, Final Fantasy?
No, this is Dragon Ball Z.
Power level.
No, this is Patrick. All right, this is going off the fucking rails. Thank you all so much for listening to another episode of the Game Tea Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.
You just got your game tea.
Bye.
Bye.
A Huda Media Production.